Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wanderer's Haven. It is Wednesday again. Go figure. This time thing. You think I would have a handle on it? I really don't. Hi. I am Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. I am your humble host and game master this evening for this next arc in the story that we are weaving about the wondrous world of Ysterra. I have I have my usual cohorts of shenaniganery here with me, along with a new cohort to bring into the world of Ysterra. Well, not new, he's been here before. That was a long time ago. We don't talk about the Develian and those types of things. If you want to check any of that out, you can go to the YouTube channel and catch up on Ysterra's Requiem. If you're interested in seeing some of that old stuff, please do. We like sharing. I just have a couple of quick things to get into real quick before we let all of these beautiful people who are the real reason you came here to introduce themselves. Shout out to Tabletop Audio for helping us with the wonderful audio tonight. If you are interested in bringing their awesomeness to your tables or your streams, go to tabletopaudio.com. They are not a sponsor, but I will plug them every chance that I get because they are great. I'm using a Cze Peku map tonight, potentially. We'll see what these people get to. Or I should say I'm using a piece of a Cze Peku map because they make glorious, huge maps, and I just needed a tiny little fragment of it. So I pulled a part out. Cze Peku are amazing. Love their stuff too. Oh, we've got some people in the chat. Kay, welcome in. And of course, Stacy UK. Big heart out to you, Stacy, and to all of our viewers. We love all of you. Thank you for joining us on this glorious adventure. But that's enough yammering about me. Let's let these people actually talk about stuff, and we will start with the old but new face to this version of Ysterra. Kevran Games. Kev, how you doing, bud? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about this character that you're going to be playing for us tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm Kevin. Found online to the socials at Kevran Games. Previously, I was in Ysterra as Develian Ilistriel, who was everyone's favorite haughty elf. But tonight, I am playing a new character that is going to be coming in on Chaos's Song, who has certain ties to some things that are already going on. So that'll be fun to see. I am playing Casimir, who is a tiefling warlock. So, yeah, very different than Develian. But I'm very excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to sit down with these awesome, cool faces. So, yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's do it, shall we?
Indeed. And on that note, let's move things right along. Beth Masco, the illustrious Beth Masco from Chicago.
Hey, that's me. Don't say I'm from Chicago. People from Chicago will be mad at me. I am here today, and I'm excited. I'm continuing on with Sai's journey. So, Sai is a half-elf, she/they pronouns, and they are a cleric of the Ascendant Nocturnus, who we did get to meet in the last arc, which was very interesting. And we'll just have to see where their story goes this time.
Indeed we shall. And continuing right along with the amazing awesomeness, stories and otherwise, Deb.
Hello. I'm so glad to be back. It's Wednesday. This is great. I am Deb. I'm playing Maeve. She's a plant witch, druid. She is a special homebrew subclass that Miko came up with, Circle of the Grove. So she's got some fun little stuff, cool staff that she can whack people with, or do some other fun things with. So looking forward to seeing how this group manages to get into more problems together.
I mean, it's gonna happen. Speaking of getting into problems together, Ian, my boy, you're looking pretty dapper over there, dude. Did we get changed the digs and get some new internets?
Yeah, we did a whole revamp of the setup, starting from the top down, and I'm sitting here looking at it like while everybody's going, I'm like, I don't know if I like myself so clear.
Well, we like you clear, dude.
But yeah, hey, I'm Ian. You can find me on all socials at your boy Big, and I'm playing Wraith. Bringing Wraith back. Probably after hearing everyone else's description, the most regular person in this group. And we're probably gonna get into that once we start playing.
Indeed we shall. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this amazing adventure. What is going on with the camera here, Kev? I can't seem to keep your camera alive.
I don't know, my friend.
We're just gonna roll with it. How are you guys feeling? Do you guys want to maybe jump into this next story in these crazy chaos arcs that we're writing here?
Let's play some D&D. Yeah, let's go.
You broke Ian again, Kev. Way to go.
I mean,
it's the voice. It's so good.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. No.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, let us perhaps dive into tonight's episode of Chaos Song. Welcome, all of you, travelers and otherwise, to the magical realm of Ysterra, where the twin suns, Yrdra and Orin, grace the daylight skies, and the three moons of the world dance across, causing tempestuous seas around the entirety of the world. Blessed at the beginning of time by a dying god and guarded by celestial beings known as the Ascendant, this world is now on the brink of monumental change. Stretching across the world is 8 vibrant continents, each home to an array of wonders and cultures. The largest, in Saris, teeters on the edge of a magical industrial revolution that would have the potential to connect the people of Ysterra like never before. Yet, the history of Ysterra is a tapestry woven with threads of chaos and divine ambition. The Ascendant, in their quest to shield the world from the many perils that exist across the multiverse, have sometimes been part of the great upheavals upon it, none of which were more devastating than the Illuvance, a cataclysm that destroyed untold numbers of mortal beings and obliterated an entire civilization. This tragedy, some almost 1,000 years ago, drove the Ascendant themselves into a seclusion of sorts, a self-imposed isolation within a hidden sanctum reachable only through a journey through or up to the perilous amaranthine doorway. As the Ascendant still keep their vigil against the multiverse of threats behind this doorway, the world continues to evolve, its history, its geography, and its destiny. So please come with us as we step into this extraordinary world of Ysterra, where we find everyone's place in its unfolding tale of fate. This journey continues on tales that we have previously told. Our adventurous heroes, part of a secret society dedicated to preserving knowledge and doing good in the world, have already thwarted the plans of chaos before, and when they encountered an individual that was possessed by a fiendish mask, and they fought valiantly together through dangerous depths to prevent this possessed individual from rending history with yet another cataclysm. And now, mere months after having dealt with one mask bearer, another has seemingly made themselves known in the world, and our heroes are tasked with following the melody of this potential threat and putting an end to the chaos song. So, my companions, as we find ourselves so many months removed from this circumstance. Ooh, we just lost Deb's camera now too. What is going on? Did everybody lost Deb there, right? Not
That's
just me?
correct.
Okay, cool. Hey, there she is.
And she's back.
All right.
Here I am.
I was starting to get confused. Anyway, as we are now a couple of months removed from the events of Chaos Rising, where our band of heroes, some would call them, had dealt with that previous threat to Greater Entruscal and potentially much of the world beyond, everyone kind of went their separate ways for a little bit for their own different reasons. They had things that needed to be done, and we're going to bring things back to try to learn a little bit of what has been transpiring for all of our illustrious adventurers. And we're going to start with you, Ian. What has Wraith been up to these past couple of months?
It has not been well for Wraith. After going, with that last mission with the Aubrath, he's seen too much for what he's used to, and he's having a hard time kind of, I guess, digesting everything, comprehending what he saw and how he's feeling, because up until now, his position in all of this was, give me a job, I get paid, I go about my way. So now with everything that has happened with Pocket and the mask and meeting the Ascendant, it's all just become very overwhelming and too much. And it sends him into somewhat of a depressive spiral. And the only way that he knows how to deal with it is just to drown out his feelings. So all the money that he's gotten from, or whatever little money he's gotten from the last, mission has been spent on drink and staying out of trouble, and he's not in a good state. At this very moment, he's hunched over a chair in the same little dingy bar, at the same table where Pocket and everybody wrote their little thing, and he's just grumbling to himself. He's having such a hard time just dealing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, maybe we can see if there's something to bring Wraith out of this funk that he is in. Beth, what has Sai been up to in these months?
Well, Sai started off just continuing on with Maeve. They did a little bit of, traveling, I believe, back to the Bone Orchard at some point. Is that a thing that happened? Upon realizing that there has been a new issue that has come up that related to our last game, I think Sai realized that we can't do this again without Wraith. So Sai at some point decided, okay, I have to track him down and see if I can talk him into coming with us, even though he really, really did not seem like he wanted to do this anymore. But I think it's work that needs him. So Sai would go off to find him.
All right. Well, as you journey around Greater Entruscal, perhaps trying to follow leads left behind in Wraith's wake of various taverns and cities that he has journeyed through on this, we'll call it a trip of self-awareness that he is on. Eventually, you do manage to track him down in the city-state of Amana. ironic enough, a port town built upon the notion of travel at sea on the Sea of Intruscal, the only calm seas in the entirety of the world, and yet still not calm enough for Wraith. But here he is in a dingy little tavern. Once again, Ian, what does Sai see as Sai enters the tavern and spots Wraith?
Oh, it's just pathetic. He's hunched in a chair, the eyes barely open. He's probably half asleep, and he's got like a cup that's like hanging out the side of his hand, hair just messed up and just wet. Don't know why. It could be sweat. It could be water from somebody trying to wake him up. But he's sitting there and he's grumbling to himself. He's just, what? No, I don't want to go. I don't think what? And it's just real bad.
All right. Well, I think it's fair to say then that Wraith does not notice Sai upon their arrival. So
No.
what does Sai do, Beth, as Sai sees this?
Sai, first and foremost, goes up to the bar and orders an ale and a glass of water. And I'll bring it over to the table and just sort of sit down next to him and plop both drinks down on the table.
Hey. Sorry. It's nice to see you, Sai. You been here long? Is this mine? And he grabs the ale.
They're actually both for you. So,
No.
I just wanted to come and find you. You weren't that hard to track down.
Never am. Never am. What do you need? I don't have any money.
I don't need money. I kind of just wanted to check in. I know that we did a lot recently, and
we did.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Just great time. Excuse me. And he just chugs the ale. He's definitely just kind of pushing you off for the free drink.
Yeah.
Was there something else you needed other than reminiscing on memories? As great as they were.
I guess I'll get to it then. It's happened again.
What's happened? It's my pants down.
First of all, is this like a quiet tavern?
Oh yeah.
Am I able to talk to him freely?
This is
okay.
This is the same seedy tavern that you had encountered in Amana with Bucket in your previous investigations. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure before I start talking. So Sai will just kind of look you dead in the eye, try to keep your focus. There's another mask, and we kind of have to. We'll figure things out again.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you guys have a lot to do. Should probably go do that.
I mean, we will, but I think we'd have quite a bit more luck if you came along. We certainly couldn't have done the last one without you.
No, there's not. You guys don't need me. You guys have all your magic, and I'm sure the Aubrath will. No, I'm not gonna. No. And he's gets real quiet and into himself. And he goes, sorry, it's taken quite some time for me to try and forget all of that. It was a lot for me. I don't know. I'm not supposed to know those things. I'm just the muscle. I haven't had a decent night's sleep since that day. I still see things. I can't jump back into that again.
I'd like to start by saying I think that you're a lot more than just the muscle. I don't know that I can do it without you.
Yeah. You know what keeps bothering me? That we were at the bottom of all of that. Of that water. And that thing, the big, what was it that you called it again? What was it?
Nocturnus?
Yeah. They asked everybody, why are you here? And everyone had an answer. I turned to you guys and went, I don't know why I'm here. And for some reason that was enough.
Maybe you just didn't know what the answer was yet. Doesn't mean that there's not an answer.
Well, what is it supposed to be?
Maybe you're still finding it. I don't think there's a supposed to. I really don't. I think that we have all been selected because we exhibit skills and traits that make us ideal for these jobs that nobody can do.
Yeah, like lifting things.
Come on. Don't be so sorry for yourself.
I'm not sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just...
How have you been dealing with what happened?
So after I left you guys, I took a nap, and then, I went to go get a drink, and then another one, and then did some dancing in between there, and then I just kind of wound up here. It was like a week ago, I think. Right?
How do you expect to feel better about it if you're not trying?
I don't want to feel better. I just want to forget it. If I can't figure out why I'm supposed to be there, what's the point?
Do you know how I got into the initiative?
Nope. But I'm sure you're going to tell me. And he kind of sits back in his chair.
Yeah, I will. I think you probably know that Maeve found me in a rather precarious place, and then I became a member of the initiative, right? That's kind of how the story goes, but I had just emerged from a place beyond my ability to describe. I was tricked by a shadowy demon thing who pretended to be Nocturnus and lured me. And I spent, I don't know how long, days at least, running and hiding and running as this thing showed me the most horrible things, every fear that I've ever had, every possibility, over and over and over again. And finally, I came out of it, and Maeve was there, and I wasn't okay. Not at all. I don't think I'm okay yet, but I'm certainly getting there. I had some physical injuries that, were there, but I think what Maeve really did for me was help me to find just a semblance of peace again. I started sleeping, at least a little. I wasn't having panic attacks. I've gotten better. And it took a lot of time, and it took a lot of help. And I could have, I don't know, gone to a tavern and tried to ignore it, but it would still be there. And I don't want to see you sit with this and let it continue to grow. I want to make sure you're okay. And if that means that you don't do this, then that's fine. I just don't think that you should be doing what you're doing at the moment.
And then Wraith kind of looks inside. He goes, "Why did you really come looking for me?"
You make me feel brave in a way that I kind of never thought I could. And you make me feel safe.
Safe.
And yeah,
Are you gonna help
safe
me
as I
sleep
could
again?
be. I mean, I'd like to. But if you can't sleep, the nighttime is actually rather lovely. I could stay up with you and we could just sit and listen.
Just kind of side eyes you and he goes, "That probably would help." So that's happening again. Another mask or something along those lines.
Yeah. There's a brief, we can look at it if you decide to come. I don't mean to. You need to do whatever you feel is right for you. But
It's fine. It's fine. It's honestly, it's better than what I'm doing here. I don't like it, and I'm not comfortable with it. But it's better than standing here. And he stands up and he stretches and he goes, "All right, just point me in the right direction." And he just kind of stumbles a little bit, but he's like trying to walk towards the door.
Which of the three
Why don't
doors that
we,
he sees is he walking towards?
Yeah, which one am I looking at?
there's a new car behind one of them, so choose right.
Oh, we're gonna do that one. He just walks over. Yeah.
Wraith, I do appreciate your sudden enthusiasm, but maybe just a bit of rest before we hit the road.
No, I'm fine. It's perfectly fine. Like falls right outside the door.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Size decently strong, right?
Yeah.
+2.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's
That's
only
great.
enormous. Yeah, Sai will do their best to drag him at least out of the doorway, and then probably do a lesser restoration, something to, maybe
before
end some of
Sai
this.
does that, the a voice kind of echoes in Sai's mind for a moment. It's definitely Sai's like subconscious telling them, this might be the best of all worlds at the moment, because you have to get back on the Siren Scribe and journey across the Sea of Entreskel to get to the city-state of Eskos and catch up with Maeve.
This is rich lore. This is rich lore here.
I very specifically didn't mention that, which might be manipulative, but, dire straits. Okay, yeah, I will, before sobering Wraith up, drag him to the ship. And,
I'll say that you spot one of the crew members of the Scribe who recognizes you, and you call them over, and like one arm on each pair of shoulders to bring Wraith. Not an uncommon sight, bringing someone about to board a ship that has obviously had a night or 30 of drunken debauchery. So like no one even bats an eye as you bring Wraith back to the ship for the journey. And just because I want to see how this plays out, at what point do you sober Wraith up?
I think I would have him brought to whatever meager quarters we could have and let him sleep a little bit,
Sure.
because he says he hasn't, and I think it might do him some good. So I'd let him sleep for a bit, but I think at the first sign of any sort of stress or nightmare, things like that, I think that's when I would sober him up.
Sure. So your journey aboard the Siren Scribe is already a very fast ship, right? But this is, as was stated in your mission brief, this mission has been tagged as Priority Alpha, which means that getting you and Wraith back to Maeve in Eskos to journey west is of great urgency. And so a storm sorcerer has been added to the crew of the Siren Scribe, and they are able to use their magics to channel the winds and currents to give the best possible speed that can be mustered, and certainly much more expedient of a journey than even you traveled on previously, will allow you to reach Eskos in just a matter of days, keeping the trip as short as possible. But I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for Wraith, because it's shorter trip, but it's a lot faster. So let's see what happens now, as maybe a day out from your previous port. Sure enough, one particular afternoon, because I don't think Wraith is like waking and sleeping. I think this is like he's just been asleep this whole time. So the afternoon, maybe a day's out from your leaving, you start seeing him have some obvious, as your experience tells you, some obvious horrid dreams of some kind or other, and you awaken Wraith and a lesser restoration, you said?
Yeah.
All right. Wraith, you wake up in a all too familiar cabin.
Yeah, it's one of those like, wait, where are we? Sai.
Don't freak out.
And he like, no. You didn't say anything about going back. Please tell me.
You
Please
passed
tell
out
me.
before I could. Hey, listen, we're almost there.
I'm still dreaming. This is what it is, right? I'm just gonna, this is what we're gonna do. Sorry, I'm still on a fucking boat. He gets up and he walks out of the quarters and like brush passes everyone, and he sees it, and he's like, it kind of just, hits his corner. Nobody said anything about being back on a boat. I just went through all of that before.
I know.
As Wraith expels a few days worth of alcohol from his stomach, the captain kind of just casually makes his way over. Wraith doesn't notice this, but the rest of the crew spot the captain making his way over. He has a mug in his hand, and he puts it just into the sides of Wraith's vision, and he looks down and sees a steaming mug of mead waiting for him there. And the captain just says, "Good to have you back, my boy. We missed you."
Sorry about the mess, Cap. And he takes the mead slowly, and he kind of just two-hands it, drinks it.
So yeah, as Wraith two-hand drinks this, the magic effect of the restoration is obviously going to improve things for Wraith tremendously. But circumstances being what they are, yeah. But this is when Wraith realizes just how fast they're traveling, because out on the horizon, just the tiniest speck of marks on the horizon that he can see, there's the familiar sight of Arkhold off in the distance. The Arkhold Isle, the prison that you had visited when you had met your friend, Bucket. And you are sailing past it at glorious speeds.
I think he kind of looks like
I love this.
He's sitting there watching. He's like, "Oh, we're going pretty fast. It's not so bad. It's not so. It's not so bad. I just won't look at it." And he looks at the ground.
Good plan. The captain slaps him on the back and then heads back to his post.
Do I need to take you up to the front of the ship and have you, Kate Winslet it?
Nope.
You think that would help?
I'm not leaving this spot. I'm standing right here for the remaining of the trip.
Sai, out of a little bit of guilt, stays with you the whole time. Although, frankly, where else would they go? And we'll offer some like herb remedies that Maeve might have sent over, and like chewing on some mint or something.
I already knew. Like, give this to him when you put him on the boat.
Yeah. You're gonna need this.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I'll be
so
all right.
I'll do my
be
best.
Fine. I just won't. Like I said, look. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
All right.
You're doing otherwise.
Just about the same. Sigh. I'll let you know.
Thank you for trying this anyways.
Better than sitting sweaty in a tavern. At least I think it was sweat.
I mean, either way, you're covered in puke, so.
Oh. It's just realizing that, yeah, dang.
Well, thankfully, the storm sorcerer that is also expeditiously moving the boat along happens to know prestidigitation as well, and will happily prestidigitate Wraith clean and the mess because they don't want to vomit themselves. So Wraith very quickly finds himself getting cleaned, perhaps an additional restoration spell here or there to help him on the journey. Expedites the travel across the Sea of Intruscal for all of you as you journey your way back, or journey your way to the city-state of Eskos, where Maeve waits patiently. Speaking of Maeve, what has Maeve been up to these past couple of months, Deb?
Maeve had every intention of traveling back to the Black Timber Woodlands and the Bone Orchard, and did not make it there. She finished up some of the paperwork and reporting after their last mission, and she and Sai traveled around for a little bit, and then as the whispers of another mask started to come on the wind, she decided that she wanted to go visit one of her mentors, Ilara. So she, as this is where I think she and Sai parted ways. She went to visit her mentor, and Sai went to go find Wraith.
Got it. Yeah, that would be pretty decently well timed. So there's a lot of communication happening with the boat. So you know that while it took perhaps longer than anyone would have wanted for Sai to find Wraith, you know that they're only like a day or so out from making their way back to you. And so we will cut to perhaps a meeting that you are having with Ilara on the campus of the Salaxian Institute, the wonderful University of Higher Learning. This one particularly known for its sciences and applied artifice. It provides a good cover for many of the operations of the initiative. And Ilara, who has many guises throughout the world, is known for being one of the professors here at the Institute. A dwarven woman of good countenance, well-liked, generally good demeanor, but occasionally is intimidating to perhaps the rest of the students, and particularly the student body. And there you sit in her office, a few papers casually set to the side, things that Ilara is ignoring perhaps for now, as she sits back in her chair, her feet up on the desk. She pulls away a cigar from her mouth, one of her few indulgences that she takes upon for herself, and sets it to the side in a small tray at the edge of her desk, and she just crosses her hands in front of her and looks at you and says, "So, have you given any more thought to it?"
You know me. You know that's all I've been thinking about.
Well, I hope you've been thinking about a lot more things than just that. I mean, this whole affair with the masks and the cult and all of that's going to be trying, to say the least.
Yes, I think it will. But the other thing lingers in the back of my head all the time. So I've been thinking about it. I'm not prepared to give you an answer today.
All right. Well, at the very least, I think that we'll need to get some kind of movement going on that, perhaps after this mission is done, assuming, which I believe you will be, that you are successful. I think that it would be important for us to get the process started afterwards, because these things take time, you know.
Of course. I think that will give me sufficient time to make up my mind.
All right. And you're sure that your other companions, Sai and Wraith, are up to this potential challenge ahead?
I believe so. They acted well in the last mission. I think that we are best equipped to take care of this as well.
Well, Casimir definitely requested you, once he learned of the potential influence of another mask bearer, so I do think that it's important that all of you make your way there, but I'm a little bit concerned about Wraith. He didn't take things well.
It was harder for him than I think we all expected. I saw Sai through some troubling times, though, and I think between the two of them, they have enough support that they can make it through.
No, well, whatever it is that you all need, I've instructed I've instructed everyone, basically, because this is one of the largest priorities that we have, to whatever it takes, whatever support that you or your team needs, you have it. And she just kind of casually reaches over and grabs a satchel from beside her desk that looks remarkably just like a messenger bag, something basic that any student would carry, but you know that it is actually a very secure satchel that is impossible to be to have anything filched from it and the like. And she just kind of hands it over to you and says, there's 15 scrolls in there. And
Wow.
Normally that journey would take a couple of months, but
Of course.
hopefully this can get you there in under 2 weeks. If you push yourselves, you could get there potentially in as fast as a week, but I wouldn't recommend that because that's pretty taxing, not only on you as the one using the magic, but on everyone and their constitutions for making such a journey. It's not an easy form of travel, to say the least, and if you force march your way through it, makes it doubly hard. So I'll leave it to you, though. You and your team know yourselves the best. Expediency is key. Getting to Casimir is important.
I'm certain that Casimir will appreciate us getting there as fast as we can, but not killing ourselves on the way.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you actually were recruited. You recruited Casimir, did you not?
I did, yes.
So that's Sai and Casimir that you've both brought into the fold.
Yes.
We like to recognize people for such qualities.
I'm certain that was taken into account when you first approached me.
It was. Right. Yes. The last matter that I wanted to mention, this individual, this bucket from the previous mission, the training is going well. I think perhaps another month or two, and we might be able to put them with another Aubrath for a potential mission, just to make sure that they are indeed ready. It's interesting that they bypassed the Artitis Corps, but I don't think they're quite ready for such mundanery as that, and would much rather be in the thick of things. But just wanted to let you know I've been keeping tabs on them, and they're doing quite well for now.
That is good to hear, and I agree with your assessment that they would much rather be out in the world working than doing the mundane tasks.
Yes. I think I'm going to perhaps put them on some information gathering. If these masks are indeed popping up with this urgency, and, well, they have their own connections to them, it might prove helpful if we can maybe get ahead of any other of these mask bearers that show their face or show their mask. Or did you even? Yeah, you did see his face, right?
We did, yes.
Yeah. Interesting magic. This time, if you might be able to preserve the mask.
We will try, if that is what you require.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the world's safety is more important than
Of course.
some fiendish powered mask for study, so I'll leave it to your discretion. You're in charge.
Thank you, I think.
Well, I need to go and grade papers.
Don't be too hard on them.
Sometimes. was lovely seeing you again, my dear.
You as well.
And so as you make your way out of the office, you head back out into the city streets of Escos. Escos itself is a wonderful metropolitan city, very diverse and colorful, with all manner of things to perhaps entertain you in times that you have moments for such respite. But I don't imagine that Maeve has time for such things. So very shortly, maybe another half day wait is all she has before the Siren's scribe makes its way into port. Sai and Wraith disembark. Does Wraith kiss the ground when he touches it?
No, it's a very because we did that the last time. We're grown now.
Okay.
It's a very brisk. It's a very brisk walk off, and he's like, "All right, Cap, see you then, man. Bye." He just walks off the boat.
Good thing your captain doesn't particularly care for pleasantries anyway. Yes, so just to move things along here, the three of you do find your way back to one of the many taverns of Escos. And yeah, the three of you meet up once again.
Hey! It looks like the gang's back together. Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Good to see you both again, of course.
When was anybody gonna tell me that we were gonna get on another boat?
Did you not tell him?
I tried. Well, you passed out before I could say anything, and time is of the essence, so
You will not
couldn't
believe the shock that I felt when water. But before we continue
Sorry.
forward, are we going to have to do the water thing again?
Not imminently. We're headed to the desert, and we have a relatively
girl.
fast way of getting there. So
That
not
doesn't
on the
include
water,
water.
of course.
Okay.
Yep, that's
All
great.
right, that's fine. Cool. I'm here.
Well-
What are we doing? I read the thing, the note. Another mask.
you don't have to be
Right.
weird, You're being weird.
Because listen, I feel a little weird right now. Okay, I just
All right, fair.
another boat thing. We're about to jump back into the fray of this. I'm not really 100% comfortable. You know what? I could just leave. Like I'm gonna get a drink.
And then he just side shuffles off to get the drink. Yeah, he definitely was being weird.
It's fine.
How did it go?
I mean, fine. He's having a hard time, as we know, but I think that'll just take a little bit of time and work, and I mean, his heart's in the right place. I think he just needs to pin it down.
What do you mean this is the largest size you have? What kind of shit is this?
As you look around, Wraith, you realize that this is like the equivalent of like a student coffee shop. Like there's a bunch of like university students that are all way too young hanging out here. So
They don't. He goes back to the table and he's like, they don't have ale here. I don't know what they gave.
oh no,
me.
they have ale, just maybe not to your standards.
Oh, okay. They have ale, but it's in these tiny, tiny glasses. I don't know why. Okay. Sorry, I didn't get to make it out to the Bone Orchard. I've been busy.
Well, I didn't make it there either. So
No. Oh, okay.
we still have a chance to go.
Does that thing still have that thing in it?
And he taps your rod.
As soon as your finger comes into contact with the staff, there is a spark of black energy that ripples off of his fingertip, and he feels the familiar sensation of the emotions of that encounter with the unnamed ascendant. Go ahead and
Face
make a charisma
Yeah.
saving throw for him.
Of course, just gotta always touch stuff, don't you, Ian?
You could argue that it would be wisdom. So whichever's better for you, wisdom or charisma.
No, this is that would highly affect a 13
Okay.
for charisma. This would highly affect Wraith, like to the point to where all of that masking of
Bravado.
feelings just goes
Yeah.
just immediately goes away. You can see his face drop, and he's like,
Yeah. I'm gonna get another one of these teeny tiny ales.
As soon as you go to stand up, there's a waitress not too far off that notices you and kind of just holds up an empty glass, and you signal at her, and she starts bringing you over 2 more.
They're really nice here. They're nicer than. Anyway.
Maeve just puts her hand on Wraith's.
it shudders, but he relaxes under it.
I feel it too.
Uh,
And Sai has been there.
It's just weird. I've never. I'll figure it out. It's just been very difficult to sleep lately, mostly. Yeah.
Well, you let me know if you need anything.
Bigger glasses. Yeah. All right, no, we're working, right? And you guys talk, please.
He like sits back in his chair.
So, Maeve, we have transportation then?
In a manner of speaking, I guess you could say that I'm your manner of transportation. The
Okay.
initiative gave us 15 scroll spells that will get us there. It will get us there quickly, but it will be taxing on us.
That's so many. That's a lot, right?
It's not a close destination.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they want us to get there as quickly as possible. I know Casimir is waiting for us.
What do we need to know about Casimir?
Yeah, who's that? Nobody said anything about. I thought it was
No,
just the 3 of us.
We are going to act as reinforcements for Casimir. He is also in the initiative and will be leading this particular mission. He has more information, I believe, than we do. I have met him a few times before, and I think he is the right choice for this mission.
Oh yeah, it says it right here.
That's
on the
great.
Thing. I thought that was a place, not a person. Whatever.
And he takes
He takes the thing and he kind of like stuffs it in his pocket. He's like, I thought it was just the 3 of us. Sorry.
I mean, we did pretty well with Bucket, so it'll be good to have another
Is Bucket coming?
member of the team. I don't think so.
Bucket is not coming on this particular mission.
Sucks.
Bucket is not quite up to the level of Aubrath yet. My mentor did mention that Bucket is doing well in their training and will be out in the field soon.
He's all right. Find that off switch. I'm gonna find that off switch.
I'm sure you will one of these days.
Yeah. So, standard equipment. Wait, go in there. We get the masks. Just go around. This seems to be more informational than most. What are we just peeking?
If we can get the mask, that would be the best. My mentor mentioned that if we can preserve the mask this time for research, it would be helpful, but the fate of the world, as it were, is more important, so it is up to our discretion. And
Wraith leans in. He's like, do you really think, like, we want to keep it? Because I touched the thing, and they want to keep this one?
I think there are mysteries contained that they would like to understand.
Yeah, the thing said Demon Prince Wraith. Like, that would have been me. And they want to keep this one? What is this, the fairy princess mask? Am I the only one concerned?
Oh no, I am absolutely concerned, but I figure that's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it.
It's a little questionable that they want to keep it. It is what it is. As long as I get paid. Then I get a bigger glass. And there's no water.
We're headed to the desert, so there will be less water than the sea you had to cross.
That's fine. When shall we leave?
Are you ready to go? Is there anything else you need to do?
Me personally? No.
Either of you.
I'm good.
Is this one of those pray to your God moments?
I'm not sure if you'll like the sea journey or this upcoming one less. It's not going to be an enjoyable trip to Aubrath.
Listen, if it's not, if I don't have to get back on that boat, I'm fine.
And then I feel like the camera cuts and it's just Wraith screaming. Like it's just screaming.
As long as I don't have to get on that boat.
This is how I feel like this is setting up.
Back on the boat, back on the boat.
Back on the
Oh,
boat.
man.
All right. So, you guys do wrap up a couple of minor things that you still have to take care of. Mainly, like restocking your supplies with the Artidum, or Artidas core, and getting a couple of new pieces of equipment that are issued to you to help you on your upcoming mission. But yeah, you have a question, Ian?
Is
Okay.
there somebody that I can? I'm pretty sure there is, right? Because we're in this kind of city. I just want to know if it's more so acceptable. So the last time I tried to use that smoke bomb and it didn't really go well for me. Is there somebody in there that could give me something, or I can buy something to fill my bandolier with to obscure myself? Like shadow, anything outside of the shroud that I have.
The shroud's going to offer you the best thing.
The best?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then I'm going to leave it as is. Because we still got some hot ticket items here anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, anything that you had used previously, as far as like the standard supply list that, I had given you that was like standard issue.
Yeah. And my gloves?
Yeah. Yeah. All your gloves are, they ain't taking your gloves away, boy. You good. But you get to restock from anything that you had spent from previous out of that standard issue stuff. So, you take care of things and then meet with Maeve, and there's probably a little bit of hesitation on Wraith's part. I don't know. Maybe. I'm curious what might be going through Wraith's mind with all of this kind of hinting at things, but no one actually saying what's happening as you start to make your way to the highest it's not really a mountain, it's more like a glorified hill just on the outskirts of town.
Definitely don't see any water, so...
Oh, you see water behind you. This is a port city, but...
Oh, geez. So now he's just like, hey, wait a minute. We said... What's going on, you guys? I'm a little nervous now. Everyone's being weird.
And Maeve, like, Sai calms your nerves for a moment, and Maeve goes into that pouch at her side and pulls out a spell scroll and begins to cast the spell. How is Wraith with flying? So if you could imagine yourself, your very essence, everything that makes you transmuted into wind. Each gust and zephyr an extension of your very being, with a almost breathless exhilaration. You rise from this hill in the city-state of Eskos, the large portion of Greater Entrescal, the sea of Entrescal behind you, your form almost translucent in the skies, and you find yourself dancing in the vast sky above. Open plains ahead of you. You can almost feel the wind-kissed grasses like serpents crawling below you. Every hill and valley almost calls to you in a way as if an old friend, their rhythms and contours familiar and comforting. The world unfolds beneath you as you fly as the wind, on the wind, in the wind, part of the wind, across the plains. Each day you do have to find a brief respite where the spell ends and you coalesce back into your mortal form long enough to rest. And with the dawning light, you are once again drawn upwards irresistibly as Maeve, day after day, sometimes multiple times in a day, depending upon how weary you might be, cast the spell once again. You can all see, or both of you, Sai and Wraith, you can see the effect, the taxing effect that using this powerful magic has upon Maeve so often, and you have to gauge your own ability to travel and how difficult it is to not lose yourself in the skies, with how difficult it is for Maeve as well. Doubly difficult it is for Maeve. You eventually, after a couple of days, find yourselves drawn towards the towering grandeur of the Aelris mountain range. Piercing through low-hanging clouds, you are greeted by the solitude of white peaks and alpine forests, the sharp, crisp air mingling with your own vaporous forms, every snowflake a masterpiece whirling in the air around you. Time kind of becomes fluid for you. Each stop that you take to rest is a mere pause, like a heartbeat in this dance that you are playing across the skies of Ysterra. Eventually, the mountains give way to the sand-blasted expanse of Aubrath's desert. The air, dramatically different from previous, it is dry and filled with scents of the arid earth and ancient stone. The dunes of Aubrath roll like golden waves below you, and each point that you rest, you feel yourselves becoming more and more drawn to this place, this being with the wind. And you are both an observer and a participant in this unfolding landscapes of Ysterra, seeing things from viewpoints that you could never have imagined. You whirl over rocky outcroppings, feeling the heat in ways that you have never felt before, and with each night's rest you can feel the draw of wanting to be pulled into the wind once again. But eventually you find yourselves nearing your destination, Maeve guiding you, having been given detailed instruction on where it is that you need to go. I need for each of you, please, to roll a wisdom saving throw and a constitution saving throw.
Wisdom 26, con 18.
Okay.
Wisdom 13, con 14.
All right. Ian?
Wisdom 19, and my con's going now. Taking forever. Lord. Come on. It's not rolling. It's not rolling for my con, and I don't have physical on hand. So let me do this.
Must be a natural 20 then.
Right? Has to be.
I think so. Those are the rules.
I got you here. You got a 17. So whatever your bonus is, you can add to that. Plenty, more than enough. So as you all touch down one last time in the desert, you have, of course, your magical camper's respite that you have been using to, for your rests. The few that you have taken. Sai, you have taken this the hardest. You will be coming into this with a point of exhaustion. Just FYI.
Okay.
As when you arrive at your destination ultimately. And Wraith and Maeve, you've made it through this experience well by comparison to Sai, and you can definitely see the toll that this has taken upon Sai. But a journey that should have taken you months has taken you perhaps a week and a half instead, as you have used virtually every scroll at your disposal to traverse this great distance as the bird flies and go from one side of the continent basically to the other. As you take this last rest before eventually reaching the city of Zirakath, Maeve and Sai, do you have anything to discuss? Particularly with Sai's current state.
Are you all right, my friend?
Sort of. It could be better. That was how are you doing?
I'm surprisingly unscathed by the ordeal. It's not as bad as I feared for myself.
Glad you're all right, because that seemed like a lot for you. Are we supposed to be there right now? Can we afford to take a little bit of time?
We've made very good time. I think we can take a minute more than a minute.
That's good. Should we take an overnight rest, or are we talking just like cat nap?
You are doing a full night's rest before you venture your one last day of travel.
Great. Well, I don't even know how to describe what we just did. I feel like I was pulled apart and put back together again many times. That was wild.
It's quite an experience, and a costly one in many ways.
Wraith comes trudging up and he's like,
That was crazy. Do you guys travel like this all the time? Like it's just, oh man, that's not even like regular flying, right? Like you see like all these magical people and they just start levitating. Like we were like, oh, it's elemental. It was scary at first, right? Because like everything's like you're like, ah, but then after a while, like I was like the wind that grazed up against this bird at one point. It was so nice. Can we do that? Like, how do I do that whenever I want? Why is everybody looking at me like this?
Even I can't do this whenever I want.
What?
The
That sucks.
initiative expended a number of resources to get us here this quickly.
Why couldn't we do that before? Why do we have to get on a boat to do that when we could just... Did you see us? It was... Whoosh. That was so cool.
I didn't realize a boat would be the thing to take you down.
It's the water. Like, I don't... Well, let's bring it back. When are we doing this again?
I've used up virtually all of the scrolls that we have, so we will be trudging our way back when we get to that point.
just like a child, he's like,
You do
Like
have one
completely
more
not-
day of wind travel left. One final day.
but we're not going to tell him that.
For sure not.
We're not going to tell him that. He's just like, this sucks. And I think like after that, he notices that you're a bit tired and he's like,
Well, I mean, yeah, we should probably get some sleep. Are you okay? Do you need something?
Just some sleep, I think.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Cool. Man, that was so cool. And he turns around. He's like, man, it was flying and I was on the cloud. It was crazy. And
So you
It's good
guys,
to see him in good spirits.
yeah, that definitely took him up.
you guys spend one last day of respite, knowing that you have one more day of journey ahead of you as the wind, and taking yourselves through the evening and into the morning. Maeve pulls out the final scroll. There is a hint of lamentation as she finishes casting it, knowing how much of a burden this is on Sai, who hasn't handled it quite so well, but perhaps maybe getting a little bit of joy in seeing Wraith so happy, as you all take your wind forms once again for your final journey.
He like runs like in a straight line and just jumps in the air like, yeah. So excited.
Nice. So yes, you speed across the sands of Aubrath. For what it's worth, the way that the Windwalk spell works, you're basically traveling at like 35 miles an hour, across through the skies. So, that affects your perceptions of things as well, traveling at such speeds. But you journey through the desert sands. You get to see interesting sights. None of you have ever been to Aubrath before, so you can see that it is enormous. It is vast. Like the country of Aubrath is larger than the Sea of Entreskel, but it is filled with sand just as far as the eye can see. You spot towering spires off in the distance that are, from the distances that you are from them, would have to be enormous, hundreds, if not close to 1,000 feet in the air, perhaps. Just monstrous spires of magical construction. You see occasional ripples in the sands beneath you, implying creatures of pretty substantial size themselves, just seeming to swim through the sands below. And then, probably most interesting for Wraith, you see small boats, ships, sailing vessels, most of them very, very small, single hull, maybe a catamaran style, not very many sails, only a handful of individuals on board if there is more than one person, just kind of drifting over the sands, skimming, as it were. These small personal craft just dotting the landscape as they leave wakes of sand and dust behind them. You spot a few of them traveling in such a way as to imply racing of some kind, like trio of them just kind of moving across the dunes, one overtaking the other, and then another one maneuvering or attempting to outmaneuver the first, that sort of thing. You see a couple of times people in almost tribal-like fashion moving across the deserts in en masse, 50, 60, maybe as much as 100 individuals, just kind of almost as if they were part of the sands themselves at first, where you couldn't see them until you noticed them at the very last minute. And then eventually you start to see one particular city getting larger and larger in the horizon in front of you. As the magic begins to wear off, and you feel that you have timed things just appropriately, you find yourselves maybe an hour or two outside of Zirakath, a relatively small city by many standards of Aubrathian society, as it were. This city is grounded in fairly ancient history, but it has a touch of modernity to it as well. It doesn't have the many towering spires that perhaps other cities of Aubrath do. It opts for more low-profile structures with many tent-like buildings, and the various permanent structures that there are, of which there are quite many, seem to be covered in a kind of a tinted glass, almost. Something that perhaps any of you that had read a report on Aubrath before you made your journey would know that glass is one of the most significant exports of Aubrath, and it is magically harvested and hardened to be almost as strong as steel in some cases, and it is used as a very predominant construction resource all across Aubrath. This city in particular is of note because it is believed to have, well, it is known to have, based on the reports that you may or may not have read, catacombs beneath the city itself that are vast and predominantly unexplored, the potential of which seems to open up the possibilities of learning more about Aubrath's ancient history from eons ago. But all of that is not why you are here. You are here seeking out one particular individual, a member of your order. You spend a little bit of time upon entry into Zirakath. No one really questions you per se. You end up traveling through a couple of the markets where peddlers and such make every effort to try to get you to spend coin upon whatever trinkets they might be selling. And you know for a fact that you are to meet Zirakath, or I'm sorry, Casimir, at one of the central archways in Zirakath that is nestled under one of the waterways that extend throughout the city, carrying water to the various parts of the city itself. And very shortly after your arrival, you're now getting into the late afternoon hour. Kevin, please do us a favor and describe the individual that they see as they come upon Zirakath, or Casimir, at the intended meeting place in Zirakath.
Absolutely. Casimir is a tall, thin-built, very wiry-built tiefling. Even though he has a hood up, it's very noticeable to see his horns that come out from the sides of his forehead and sweep back. He's got very fine features. He's actually handsome in a traditional sense, but he has a certain look of sadness to him, I guess you could say. There are markings around his eyes that almost look like scars, but they look different than scarring. Almost maybe some sort of mark from something else. His eyes, they are the typical no pupils or irises, just a solid color, and they have a slight glow to them as well. They almost look like that really deep, rich, reddish orange fire that you see in the last remnants of the embers of a burning fire as it's about to die out. He is wearing darker clothing that has a little bit of a touch of the sand to it, a little bit of sun faded to it, with the hood as well. And he doesn't appear to be armed. And as he sees you all approach, he actually is going to turn to Maeve. It is good to see that you are here. I trust that your travel went all right. Didn't have any sort of dilemmas or problems.
We were able to travel swiftly. It is
Yeah, it
good
was
to
a
see you, my
breeze.
friend.
Thank you. It is good to see you as well. I trust these are your traveling companions that you so dutifully informed me of before.
Yes, this is Cze and Wraith.
Welcome to Zirakath. I am Casimir Dane. I am a member of the initiative here, and I have asked for you specifically, to be honest. It would seem that my work and your work are now coming together. If destiny is to be believed, perhaps it can be that such a thing has brought us together this day.
It's
Hey,
good to meet you.
You think you can get one of those things?
And Casimir looks over to see what he's pointing at.
The boats, the things that are on the sand.
Do you like the
Yeah.
water then, friend? You wish to have a boat?
You know what? That was my fault. I'm just gonna shut up now.
Was it something that I said?
Wraith is not fond of water.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you won't find much of that around here, so I guess you are in good hands.
Yeah, it's just they look like they were having fun on those like things across the sand. I just want it again. Looked like fun.
I see. And when the serpents that live beneath the sand come to rise up to claim such a vessel, you will be glad that you are not upon it. Should we perhaps go someplace more private so that we may convene, learn of our mission and our dual purposes here?
Of course. Lead on.
And
will.
as you turn to lead your companions away, off in the distance, you hear shouts of alarm, maybe just a few blocks over, and there is a massive explosion that ripples through the city of Zirakath. And that's where we're going to take our break, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa!
We're at the
Come
halfway mark.
Whew.
We will
Juicy.
be back in just a few moments. I promise you. Please stick around while we figure out what happens to all of these individuals in this new town, in this new country,
We're all gonna
and
die, you know?
with this new friend. We'll be
Awesome.
back in just a few minutes, or if you're watching us on VOD, just a few moments. Welcome.
Howdy, y'all. We're Two Monsters Rolling Dice, an actual play tabletop roleplay podcast played in the cinematic Fate Core system, with a new and original score and a cutting-edge sound design, fully included. We're a team of real-life friends and nerds focused on collaborative storytelling, character-driven drama, and immersive original worlds. It'll be hard for you to decide who in our stable of monsters is your favorite, although, let's be honest, it's probably gonna be me. Our first season, The Uncanny Valley, is set in the low fantasy world of Palmyra at the onset of its steam age. Join us on the Isle of Khan, where nothing is as it seems, and all the cowboys, humans, elves, everyone feel the pervasive weight of an inexplicably strange feeling in the air. If you're looking for intrigue, drama, laughs, cowboy duels, dinosaurs, political conflict, mysterious supernatural phenomena, and so much more, all in the style of an old-timey radio dramedy, give us a try. Check us out at twomonstersrollingdice.com or by searching for Two Monsters Rolling Dice wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. We had the quickest break that we could possibly muster. We are glad to be back. Just a quick shout out to Glassjaws in the chat. Thank you so much for the gift sub. Much appreciated. It is September, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that, but you get a discount on subs this particular month. And even if you don't manage to be able to throw a sub our way, it's a great way of supporting any other channels that you might be interested in. So highly encourage folks to take advantage of September whenever it rolls around. So let us dive back in here to the events of recent occurrences within your arrival to Zirakath. Our companions have managed to meet up with their contact here in Zirakath, Casimir, and as they were getting ready to head off to a quiet place to perhaps actually converse with one another away from the markets, an explosion seemed to rattle the distance. Do you all wish to investigate, as there are some screaming individuals currently causing a panic in the area around you?
Is that a
Yes.
normal
I mean, I
occurrence here, my
guess.
friend?
Well, it depends on the time of day and what exactly is going on around, but perhaps. No, not really, to be honest.
Do
A
you
voice
think?
in my head has told me otherwise. Perhaps it is a voice from beyond the veil. I don't know.
Do you think we
What?
should check it out?
We certainly can, yes. I don't believe it's coincidental that it happens immediately upon your arrival. So, let us go.
We did this?
Did he say
So
he hears
you
voices?
venture through the various markets, the chaos that is ensuing, the people kind of scrambling away from the smoke and obvious flames off in the distance. You venture your way through all of this. few individuals are actually moving towards the explosion. There are many moving away, so it takes you a good amount of time to actually reach it, as it occurred a decent distance away from you on the other edge of the market square. As you get closer, Casimir, you realize that the area that you're heading into is actually referred to as the Racer's Quarter. It is predominantly occupied by like makeshift tents and workshops where sand skimmers are worked on a daily basis. If you need passage on a small vessel to reach, for yourself to reach some far off distance, or want to send a message through non-magical means across such a distance, this is the place that you would go. And as you close in, the chaos seems to be getting a little bit more manageable. At least some of it is under control, and you notice one particular tent that is a large tent, in fact, easily like 20-30 feet in diameter, that is currently just erupted in this pillar of fire and smoke cascading up into the sky. As you observe this, I would like, well, actually, I'll ask all of you, what would you like to do in this moment, as basically no one's really paying attention to you. There's certainly something else to occupy everyone's attention, and so you would have an opportunity to maybe do something in particular if you had an idea in mind.
Casimir is going to look to this. He's going to look over to Wraith. He's going to eye his bulging biceps for a second, and then he's going to say, "Do not steal or take anything. Trust me on this."
What?
Calling
That's
him out,
very
Jane.
rude. That is very rude. Ed, do you? Hey, can you? Hey, can you read minds?
You'll notice that just one of my eyebrows goes up, and I get a wicked grin, and I turn to Maeve. "Shall we go in?"
Of course.
Wraith looks at Sai and he goes, "He read my mind. I was gonna steal one of these skimmers."
If there's time later, I'll help you.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be so much fun. And I guess just follow them. Also, I also want to say this. I didn't message Kevin any of this. He just saw my face. I
mean,
That's it.
we knew. We all
That's
knew.
it.
Yeah.
We all knew. All right, so as you
Casimir's
move,
gonna move in towards the burning tent. Just see
yeah,
what's going
so
on.
as you all start moving a little bit down the street to get closer to this burning tent, like I said, the most of the chaos is now focused very acutely around the tent, whereas previously it had just been people running in random directions and all of that. But you start to get closer. I need for each of you to roll. I'll actually let you decide. It can be either perception, investigation, or insight, and you have to tell me what you roll and what your result is, and that will determine what kind of information you all get.
Can I use my passive insight of 18?
You certainly can.
Nice.
And I also use my passive insight of 18.
Sure. Druids and clerics' natural wisdom modifiers are great.
Investigation, insight, perception. Those were the options.
Those are your options, yeah.
Can
Or
I
you could
use
just
my
decide to
intimidation,
not
which is a
roll if you feel
+9?
like you are too distracted by casing potential thievery for later.
But it's not thievery. I'm acquiring goods to complete the mission. It's different.
I'll roll perception.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose not to roll because of my acquiring of goods to complete the mission.
Okay, we'll see where that gets you, sir. What'd you get
Yeah.
on your perception check, Casimir?
19.
19. All right. So, Casimir, you're able to spot very easily. They seem that there are a number of individuals. All right. So, actually, let me backtrack a little. This is not the first time something like this has happened in the Racer's Quarter, right? Sand skimmers are dangerous machines. above and beyond the fact that you need a considerable amount of training and understanding just to even pilot one, just to even start one, they are contraptions that the common people generally believe are contraptions of death. Nobody knows exactly how they work. Many of the pilots are just kind of guessing. Sometimes you can see, if you spend enough time around racers, you will find them, working on their machine and just not working, and they kick it to make it work right, as opposed to actually doing something functional. They are conglomerations of magic and artifice and technology that are dangerous. So explosions happen here decently, but not usually this big. Whenever something like this happens, though, all of the other individuals around the quarter just immediately come to the aid of whoever it is that is experiencing this circumstance, right? Like, this is one of those things that you might have racers that absolutely hate each other on the track, but once you're back in the pits, everybody is the same person, everybody's dealing with the same shit, and so there's a camaraderie that results in that. And so you plainly see a number of individuals using whatever tools at their disposal, usually buckets to toss sand upon the flames. There's one individual that appears to be an artificer of some kind that has rigged up some kind of contraption to spray sand at high volumes, almost like a water spout into the flames. And there's just a lot of people working together to try to keep the flames contained, partly because they want it out, and partly because they don't want it to spread to potentially other tents and workshops and cause further chaos and mayhem and destruction, right? And so you see that they've got it fairly well contained. You also notice very clearly a cloaked figure that sees your group kind of observing things, and immediately darts behind a tent and flees. And as you point that individual out, I will say, Maeve, when Casimir points that individual out, you are fairly certain that that individual is acting in such a way as to escape, being observed, right? They realize that they were spotted, and now they are fleeing, right? And Beth, for your passive insight, I will say that you in particular notice that there is a few individuals amongst the lot that are trying to help put out the fire and stuff, but they're not trying super hard, and they all it's a trio of them. They're wearing the same kind of workman style jumpsuit with a weird snake with strange webbing on the side of its head as a logo on the back. Maybe it's competitors, but they're putting out the fire, just maybe not as robustly as everyone else. What would you all like to do now?
Maeve would try to pursue the person who is disappearing, and as soon as she can see them well, would cast Hold Person.
Okay, they're already completely out of sight, so you're going to need to do something to potentially catch up to them or find them to be able to do something like that.
Okay.
So you have something in particular in mind, or are you guys just hoofing it after this individual that is running away?
So are they weaving in between tents or something? Is it
I mean, at this point, they are out of sight of
area?
you, so you need to tell me what method of chase that you are giving before we can determine if you can catch up to them or not.
Scooby-Doo style, where we kind of go back and forth between tents. No, I think we can
We
split
come
it
out
up
one time.
and,
We have each other's clothes on. It's,
yeah. Yeah, like a cornfield chase, where we each take some rows. No, this is my actual suggestion. We take some rows, and we each, look
Okay,
our
so
way
Sai
over.
is suggesting that you all split up, cover more ground. That's me.
I have a
inter-
question.
Me
Voice effect.
I have
interpreting
a
the
question
Scooby-Doo
about
method.
those machines.
Which machines?
The ones
sand
that you have
skimmers?
to kick to start.
The sand
The
skim.
sand skimmers. Are we talking like windboarding type deal, or are we talking like gondola-esque type thing? Like, can I treasure planet my way on one of these things?
It's gondola at the
Potentially.
smallest, and like catamaran at the largest.
So, chat, what we just heard was Ian said, instead of stealing this later, can I just be finding a narrative way to just take one lawfully now? That's what I heard. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because we got to catch up to this person. We need some speed.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah.
about
Okay.
jumping on one of these things.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Wraith is going for the nearest tent that he sees a sand skimmer in. Sai is saying split up and go after him, and starts running down a random alleyway between a couple of tents.
As soon as Maeve saw him dart behind something, she would have taken off.
Okay. Are you taking off on foot to go
Yes.
after him? Okay. And then Casimir, do you have anything in particular for chasing after this individual? Any plan to chase after him?
Right, plan? What is that? Yes. I would need to see him do what I really want to do, but I will basically, for now, Casimir runs in behind Maeve and catches up to her and is moving with her,
Okay.
and because he knows the city a little bit better than she does, hopefully, and so he'll try to point out, cut down this way or things of that nature
Gotcha.
to kind of make it.
Can I retract mine and change my mind?
Sure.
Maeve is gonna wild shape into an owl.
I
all
can't
right.
do that, so I don't follow that way. But
As Casimir catches
start
up
to
to
follow.
Maeve, he just
Yeah.
sees feathers as Maeve morphs into an owl and takes
Nice.
off with an aerial view. That was a good call, Maeve. That's kind of what I was hinting at
I
earlier.
forgot I was a druid for a second, so
nice.
Oh, me asking that stuff in that way was the GM subtly hinting, "Hey, you guys
For
have
sure.
options."
yeah.
All right.
I had to look up what a catamaran was, and I get it why this is not a thing. Okay, never mind.
No, Ian, no, you're committed. You're committed. I need
All right,
you.
we're doing it.
I need you to
stealing
roll a
this dope
D6
vote.
and a D20.
Mm.
We're gonna start
let's
with
do
the
it.
chaos.
Okay, that's not bad. Am I adding anything to this?
No. What's
All right,
the
so I got
D6
a
result?
17 on the D20.
All right. What's the D6 result?
So I rolled the D20 first.
Yeah.
A 5.
Okay. All right. As Wraith ducks into a tent adjacent, he sees a boat in front of him. A vessel that is almost identical to the scribe, except on a much smaller scale. Like this one is maybe 20 feet long instead. And because
Yeah.
this is a moment here, and you'll have to go with me on this one, Ian. I feel like Wraith is gonna have flashbacks, like PTSD style flashbacks here, as he sees a boat in front of him. And I would like for you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. 15.
All right. You have the wherewithal to not be catatonic in the moment, and can potentially act as you see what is very obviously a steering wheel at the back. There are sails, and you have not much other information to go on. It's sitting up on stilts, basically.
Everyone else is doing something important, and I'm sitting on a boat like, how do I do this thing?
Okay. Well, it has to have. There's an engine. There's an engine, and I go look for that.
You head around to the back of the boat, and you see that there is indeed a large contraption that is a combination of metal and crystals, or structures of glass that kind of jut out from it in weird angles. You are not proficient in Arcana, but you've been around enough magic people that, you know, maybe you've absorbed a little bit of it from osmosis. You know that it's a lot of magic. You have no idea how it works, but you know it's a lot of magic.
Oh, shit. This is terrible.
Smash it.
Okay. I was actually gonna kick it. I was just like, I'm just gonna kick it. Like, come on.
How much
please
force are you
work.
putting behind the kick?
Enough to knock over a trash can?
Okay. All right. Roll a d6 for me. And I'll tell you this now.
Okay.
You don't want a 1 or a 6.
4?
Okay. As you put your
It's not a
foot
1 or a
into,
6. man.
as you put your foot into the side of this device, you hear a crunch of crystalline glass underneath of the plate that you kick, and a few of the shards of glass that are on the outer edges that you can see begin to light up, but in like an arcing fashion, as if there's energy kind of rippling through them underneath and inside of the device. Something is happening, but you have no idea what.
Again, while everyone else is doing something important, I'm messing around with a boat.
Yep.
I don't even like water.
Should we cut to someone else while I try to figure this out?
Oh, we're good. We're good. Do you have any other plan in mind?
Okay.
Yeah. What are you doing, Ian?
Okay. So here we go. So it's turned on. It's kind of. Is
You
anything
think?
moving? Do I
No.
see anything moving?
No.
I think something's moving.
You think something's going on
No.
inside of the magical engine.
Okay. Perception to see if like I see like a paddle or something that's like whirling, or if I
All
hear
right.
a noise.
Give
or
me a
hear
perception
anything.
check.
Okay. Okay, that's a 13.
All right. You do notice that the stilts that the thing is on are like tilting ever so slightly forward. And it's almost like
Okay.
like a pulsing action, like it's moving just maybe like a quarter or half of an inch as it pulses forward every second or so, as if there's some type of magical force happening here. And the stilts are
Do
the
I
stilts
notice
are
that as
the stilts are definitely keeping it from being able to move.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna take my hand crossbow, and I would like. Actually, hold on. I want to knock the stilts off. I want to knock the stilts.
Okay.
Knock the
You
stilts off.
see
Is
a
there
very
any-
large,
yeah.
like sledge style hammer off to the side. This is a workshop that you're in, so
Yeah.
there's a hammer there. You could easily knock the stilts out from underneath of the boat.
Nothing bad can possibly happen, Ian.
Would I have to get off the boat to do that?
I mean, you're not on the boat now, so you kicked at the
Okay.
engine. The engine is basically attached to the back from the outside on the outside. So you kicked at it while
Uh-huh.
standing on the ground.
Can I get on the boat and knock the stilts off?
Not effectively, no. You have to basically undo
Not
the
effectively.
lock before you can be on the before you can get on the boat.
The boat's locked
Essentially, it's locked in place by the stilts.
by the stilts.
Mhm.
Okay. Whew,
It's like it's been put up for the winter, man. It's just kind of stuck up.
Yeah,
someplace.
yeah, I got it. Okay.
You gonna knock the stilts
Is
out?
there anything in front? Is there anything in front of it though? Like, is there
Just
anything
the
in front of it?
flaps
If I
to the
knock these
tent.
stilts off and this thing,
It's just the flaps
of the tent. So
yeah.
essentially,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
like it was backed into the tent.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take a piece of rope, and I'm going to securely tie it to like a nub or a knot or maybe a mast of said boat, and make it long enough to where like I could knock the stilts off like from the side.
Okay.
And go from there.
All right. Are you tying yourself to the boat, or are you just holding the rope?
Pretty strong. I'm holding on to it.
Okay. You pick up the sledgehammer, you measure, gauge the spot that you need to hit, you wind up, you swing, kaplow, blowing apart one of the stilts that is holding up the boat, and it immediately surges forward at like Mach 2 from your perspective. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, great. Wait, I should have advantage because my roguish archetype, right? Okay.
I don't think your advantage applies. I think it's just a straight roll for you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Is he proficient in
so-
sand skiing? Because I think that matters.
No. No, he's not.
But this seems to be like a very athletic feat, though. Like I feel like there's a lot of athletics involved in this.
And if you survive to get there, we might see some athletics. Why don't you do the dexterity saving throw first?
If I survive, okay, +3. All right, 12 on the die, 15 in total.
Okay. You have a choice to make now, Ian. Do you grab the rope as the vessel is speeding away from you and pull yourself, attempt to pull yourself up onto the back? Or do you let this go? If you rolled bad enough, I was going to say that the rope like hooked around your leg and you were being dragged away,
Just going away.
but you did
God.
well enough that I'm giving you the option.
Yeah. And I don't get like any advantage because of like my gloves or anything.
I don't think
I'm
gloves
just-
of missile snaring were designed to catch a
I don't
speeding
know.
sand skimmer.
It's just a rope. It's just a rope, right?
You have an option of catching the rope so that the boat does not get away from you and going with it whatever direction that it's going, or you can let it go. It is your call, Ian.
I'm gonna let it go.
Okay.
Let it go.
So, the rest of you, as you give chase to this cloaked individual,
We get run over by a boat.
no. I need a perception check from each of you, please.
Perception.
Mine is with advantage because I'm an owl.
Yes, but you can't use your passive then. You have to roll it.
That's fine.
It's 15 for Psy.
21.
Nice.
What am I doing here? Hold on, sorry.
You're rolling a d20 and
Yep.
Rolling
It's
D20
like,
twice,
where's the
taking the better
advantage
of the two.
button? Perception?
Yep.
Not great. 14.
Okay. So, Kev, as Casimir is ducking through alleyways, he has a little bit more familiarity with this space than the others, right? So he kind of has a sense of like thinking to himself, okay, if I was trying to flee this, what are my exits? Right?
Mhm.
Like this is standard training for persons trained in infiltration. You always know where your exits are going to be, you know, in whatever mission that you've got. So you start trying to think, okay, if I'm this guy, what are my exits going to be? And you catch a glimpse of, you think, like the tail of his cloak that you had briefly seen from before as he's ducking away, and you realize he's probably going for the north exit out of this place, and so you immediately start cutting off in that direction to kind of give chase.
Great.
Sai, you had said you got a 15, right, Beth? Yeah, so you don't see this individual, but you do see Casimir running with purpose in a particular direction. So your passive insight is 18, so I will say that that is sufficient for enough for you to note or to believe that Casimir is on the hunt, on the like has the scent, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted to, you could chase after Casimir, or you could just try running in a random direction and potentially cut this individual off.
Could I run like parallel to Casimir?
Sure.
Like
Totally.
from wherever I am, just
Yep.
stay in that aisle or whatever, and just
Got it. Yeah, so
Okay.
the two of you kind of take off. Maeve, as you take to the sky as an owl, like, especially given how you arrived in Zirakath, you're well versed in flying, but an owl in the desert is not a normal circumstance, right? And there's a lot of sand and smoke up in the air right now because of the explosion and the attempts to kind of put it out and whatnot. So you actually are having a little bit of difficulty really following this the right path to take, and so you kind of circle for a little bit to try and find your prey, as it were. But this isn't like a mouse in the forest, right? Like, this is an entirely different kind of circumstance, made all the more chaotic by the sound of something else behind you. You kind of tilt to the side and look out, and you see a sand skimmer bursting down the road, bouncing off of structures, tearing, just obliterating tents, ramming into other sand skimmers. There's an apple cart, just because there's a freaking apple cart that it just barrels into and explodes into hundreds of apples flying in all random directions. Some of them catch on fire for no reason other than, they catch on fire, and now there's flaming apples flying through
Applesauce,
the racer's quarter. And you do a swoop around, and you see Wraith poking his head out of a tent, just looking
like,
after it.
Oh. Yeesh.
Thank you so much, Glassjaw, as another gifted sub. That's awesome. We love you.
Flash
dude.
Josh, you rock.
Just gonna.
does Wraith kind of just go back into the tent?
Yeah,
Yeah, he just goes. Ooh. Yep.
he does that Homer Simpson, just kind of back into the bush.
Just gonna sit here now. They got it.
Yeah, they were
Go to
Hollywood.
this desert town.
They were a special kind of apple known as Hollywood apples. That's why they exploded. So yes, a couple of you now are giving chase, and a couple of you are distracted by other circumstances. So for the moment, we'll say that Maeve and Wraith are not part of the chase. So this is now technically a skill challenge. So Kev and Beth, what is it that you think you would do in this circumstance to try and catch up to this fleeing individual?
Definitely. So can I
Is
can I
it
actively see
daytime
him?
or nighttime?
It's mid-afternoon.
Okay.
And I can actively see this individual, correct?
Mm-mm.
No,
You
I
just
saw-
know what direction that they
That's-
are headed, and you believe that they have to be going towards the north exit based on the direction that you saw them briefly going.
Gotcha.
If you know what you're doing, go for it.
If I know what I'm doing. That's always tricky, isn't it? Well, my one spell that comes to mind, it really only gets me a little bit closer, so I'm not going to bother with that. What I'm going to do, however, is I am going to, as I'm running, I'm going to kind of take a deep breath, and as I cast Thaumaturgy, my voice gets super impossibly loud, and I will scream, "Everyone down!"
Okay.
Sai is continuing to, run in parallel, not deterred by that sound. And I want to hold fairy fire for if and when I see someone running away, and I'll just, try to lay it
Okay.
on them.
All right.
And I'm like full on sprinting at this point. Like I'm trying to.
Go ahead
get
and
there
give
as
me
fast
an
as possible.
intimidation check, please.
Oh, cool.
And
I'm
then
good at
Beth, you
that.
can do a perception test.
Okay, 14. Because I only rolled a 5.
9.
All right. Yeah, so you guys continue running towards the north exit. Kev, you hear very close to you, like maybe in a tent, someone was hiding. You hear this like scream of "I didn't do it!" and just like crashing as someone is like
Nice.
diving underneath of a workbench or something, like in the tent adjacent to you. I will say that you don't get sight of the individual, like full on seeing them once again, but 14 is good enough for you to catch another like fleeting glimpse, right?
Okay.
That confirms your belief before that they are in fact on the path headed towards the north, the northern archway to the quarter.
Awesome. I still just keep heading in that same direction.
Yeah, so as the two of you kind of burst into this gateway to the north quarter, basically at the same time, this robed figure kind of bursts into the space as well. You see an individual wearing black and maroon colored clothing with a dark grayish kind of cloak that is maroon on the inside. The hood is like, as they emerge, they are like pulling the hood back up as if they're moving at such speed they're having trouble keeping their hood fully up. They're actively like trying to keep themselves guised, as it were. And they're about like 50 feet away from you, and like you two burst out of one row of tents and you look around, and then this figure bursts out at basically the same time, and the three of you kind of lock eyes with each other. Go ahead and roll initiative, the three of you, please.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Natural 1 for a 2.
Nice.
Sorry, I get advantage for a thing. That's a 21.
Okay. I got a natural 20 for a total of 26.
Awesome.
Malarkey.
This individual spots you, and do either of you know Abyssal?
I might. Let me check to be sure. That's
No.
Where's that at? Features and traits.
Languages are just off to the lower left corner of your initial main page.
Oh no, I know Infernal. Excuse me.
Okay. It's a similar language, so I'll say it's enough for you to know that he like shouts an expletive, and you're pretty sure he called you a demon fucker as he looks at you. Something along
Maybe
those
he's not
lines.
wrong. I don't know.
Something along those lines.
Okay.
And he immediately like 180s and just bolts away from you. He gets 90 feet away from you running, as he is fleeing the quarter entirely. So he's about 140 feet away from you now, Kev.
Man.
Beth, I'll say that you're probably 20 feet further away on the other side of Casimir. So he's like 170 feet away from you.
Oh golly. Okay. I will do something. I'm gonna. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I'll drop a moonbeam on them.
What's the range on Moonbeam?
120 feet.
Okay, you're 170 feet away from him.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Then I won't do that. Okay. I guess I'll just dash.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
I
go
will
rushing
dash.
to get 60 feet closer.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to use a particular item that you might have in your inventory?
That was my next bit. So for my bonus action, I will hold up. Sorry, I will hold up this really lovely scimitar that is relatively new to Sai, and as I'm sprinting with a knife, I will cast spiritual weapon, and I'll toss it out 60 feet ahead.
That's not the item that I was thinking of.
That's not the one, eh?
I was trying to remind you that you have the soporific gas, or not the soporific
Oh,
gas.
that stuff.
The gas that lets you run real fast. I forget what it's called.
Expeditious vapor.
Yes, the expeditious vapor.
That was my mistake. Sai would know that.
I feel like Sai would know that, being trained by the initiative and how to
Yes.
use the gear and equipment that they provide to you.
I'm a buffoon. Sai knows what they're doing.
Oh, yes.
So
Glad
yes,
we made that clarification.
I will take the potion.
So you
And book it.
hold up this this thin glass vial. You kind of just like crunch it in your hand. It splits open. There's a puff of gas that flies up into Sai's face. Sai takes a deep inhale of it. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Crank.
Yes.
But Sai just goes,
Oh god.
and just bolts.
Yep. Sai's body has been manipulated in unholy ways in the last several days, so this is it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll book it.
And so you gain the benefits of the expeditious retreat spell that allows you to use your bonus action to also dash. So now you are fleeing after this individual to hopefully catch up with them. Kev.
I was
150
actually
feet
about
away.
to use my vapor thing, actually, my turn. So that's what I do. As I'm still sprinting in that direction, I'm going to yell, Maeve! And then that way she knows we're going this way. And then I'll get cranked up too. I'll Jason Statham it and start.
Nice.
Whoa!
All right.
God,
So-
now I'm gonna have to watch that again. It's a stupid movie.
It's so bad, but it's so good. So I will say that Maeve does hear the booming voice enhanced by thaumaturgic magic cry out her name coming from the northern quarter. You're able to kind of spot them, the chaos of the chase ensuing up there. Ian, I'm sorry, but I think Wraith is probably out of this now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely kind of looking around at the tent, and he's like,
You know what? I'm gonna let them handle this.
just kind of just walks away.
Nice. Do you want to give me a stealth check to see if you can get away from the tent unnoticed?
Oh, absolutely. We can get stealthy. Yeah. Oh, that's a 22. I'm good.
All right. Yeah. There's a lot of distraction
No.
going on, not the least of which is distraction that Wraith causes or caused. And so he's able to kind of extricate himself stealthily from this particular situation without anyone the wiser, except for probably Maeve. But he doesn't know that Maeve knows. As far as Wraith knows at the moment, he got away with that shenaniganery.
I got away.
Yep.
Scot clean.
Scott.
Al Maeve is just sighing internally.
Maeve,
Such a
Maeve really
troublemaker.
is the mom of this group, just saying.
It's true. It's very true.
So I'm assuming that Maeve is going to give chase to the chase that is happening. Owl's
Yes.
fly speed is 60? 60.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, you can take off. It's going to take you a hot second to catch up, which you will eventually catch up. As this individual that is fleeing the two of you that he knows to be chasing him, he stops for just a single moment, and he points a finger in your direction and flicks it. He is now about 60 feet away from Casimir, and 80 feet away from Sai, we'll say. And he flicks a finger in the direction of Casimir, and the two of you see this small bead of fiery light flying towards the pair of you. And it looks like it's flying straight at Casimir, and Casimir just kind of ducks to the side a little bit, his speed enhanced, cranked up as he is, and it moves past his head, and then just a few feet past his head, he hears the explosion first, and there is a violent burst of fiery goodness that erupts behind him and envelops both of you. I need for the two of you to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Yeah, buddy.
But we look cool as fuck with
Wow,
an explosion behind
yes.
us running. I mean,
Well, it's happening behind
Huh.
Casimir and in front of Sai.
I'm going to
just, we
use.
look cool.
I'm going to use one of my special abilities. Because of my patron, I have a special ability that the Dark One is going to give me his favor right now. I'm going to add a D10 to my roll.
All right.
How do I roll just a D10 on D&D Beyond? Right here, I bet. I bet it's right here. D10. Boom.
Mm-hmm. What'd
Oh,
you get, Sai?
oh.
15.
Fails.
Yeah, so that won't help me either then, because with the D10 added on, it's only a 11. So
All right. Yeah, you both fail. I
Sweet.
do think that you have resistance to fire, right? Casimir has
I do,
resistance
yeah.
to fire?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So even with his failed save, he only ends up taking 19 points of fire damage, but Sai takes 39.
whew,
Cool.
oof.
And then he takes off running. He moves 60 feet to get away from you. And now it's Sai's turn. He's about 140 feet away from Sai at this point.
140 feet away. Okay. I will. I'll do my 30 feet of movement plus my bonus action of another 30 feet. So at that point, I don't want to kill anybody, and I don't know if this is a hardy person or not. Am I allowed to not kill somebody?
Well, you can hit
Depends
him
on
if he
the
drops a
method
zero.
that
You just say you're knocking him out.
Well, it depends on the method that you're using to attempt to
that's
kill
true.
him. I do use a little. I am well giving to players that are attempting to not kill someone, but like if you're attempting to use certain magics that do a lot of harm and they are intended to do harm, it's very difficult for you to quote unquote pull your punch.
So you
I got
can't, like-
into a very
You can't
large
knock somebody
argument.
unconscious with a
Guiding
meteor
bolt?
swarm, is what you're saying?
A meteor swarm I actually
Um,
might allow with like a
Fireball then, is that a
spellcasting
better
check.
example?
But I had someone attempt to once tell me that they were casting Disintegrate and they
Oh, yeah.
didn't want to kill them.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Sheesh.
I'm
Hachi,
not sure how
hachi.
that logic worked in their head, but they thought that they were in the right.
Nice.
What are you doing, Beth?
Yeah. Okay.
Disintegrate's not a
I'm just
transportation
gonna.
spell.
Yes, Disintegrate is a transportation spell straight to the underworld.
Take a spell.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So I'm gonna.
Snap.
I'm just gonna cast a first level guiding bolt
Okay.
at their feet, in the hope to trip them or something.
I mean,
Um,
all right, if you want to do that, I'll allow it. He'll get an athletics check to stay on his feet, or an acrobatics check. I don't know which he has better. It's probably athletics. And you're at disadvantage on the attack roll. But I'll allow that if you want to do it.
Yeah. We're just doing things today, all right? Let's steal this fucking boat.
Take Ian's advice. It worked so well for him.
That'll be a 17.
I'm sorry, I thought we were playing a game.
We're all here to have
yeah.
fun. Not gonna knock any. You got a 17 with disadvantage?
With disadvantage. I got a 26 on my other one. So
That hits. So go ahead and
Great.
do some damage as you light him up with divine light. Remind everyone what your guiding bolt looks like too.
Yeah, so as I cast the spell, it's sort of like a swirl of a silvery white mist that jettisons forward, and as it moves, you can see like beneath the mist there's just like a black mote of energy that is like a direct line, and that'll be 15 points of damage with advantage on the next attack against them.
Nice. And I rolled for everyone to see in the Indie Beyond. I should really get the dice in the overlay. We should work on that.
Sure.
I rolled a natural 3 on his athletics check to stay standing. You guys are moving. It's like everybody is running at breakneck speeds here, right? Like nobody is like, fancy feeding their way into this, and like he certainly doesn't have fancy feet as your Twilight inspired bolt just slams into the back of his knees and sends him tumbling forward onto the ground. He is prone, is glowing with like divine radiance, and has a bit of an owie in the back of his knee. Kevin, it is Casimir's turn.
Cool. Casimir's still hopped up on his crank juice, i.e. his vaporous, expeditious vapor, or whatever it's called. So I continue to run forward, and then as I do so, as I get within 50 feet, I'm going to extend my left hand, and Sai, you'll see from the vantage point that there's going to be like the light's going to catch a ring on my one finger, and I'm going to channel the ring, and I'm going to hit him with my Ring of the Ram. I'm going to expend 2 of the charges to knock his ass out.
All
if
right.
I can. So I get advantage on the attack roll, correct? Because of the fact that...
So this is a ranged attack roll, and he's prone, so this is going to end up being a straight roll, because it would be disadvantage from the prone, but then advantage from the divine radiance that is guiding your shot. Because the Ring of the Ram is an attack roll. It's not a saving throw, if I recall correctly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. It's an attack roll with a +7. So I'm just going to roll d20 and add 7.
Thank you so much to Radiant Rosie for the sub. We greatly appreciate it. And Bleak Season, you can take your dad jokes and just keep them to yourself.
We love you, Bleak. It's an 18.
Really, dude? Needs an... What is that even? I don't...
Needs an enema? Is that what you just said?
I mean, I don't want to... Anyway.
Yikes. Yeehaw.
What'd you get on your attack there?
18.
That does hit.
Cool. So that you're going to see that it basically looks like a ram's head made out of like spectral energy comes out of the ring and just blasts into this guy twice and pounds him into the ground. And the damage is going to be, I assume, based on the reading of this ring here, that it is going to be, hang on, let me pull it back up. That's what
it's
she
a
said.
certain amount based on however many charges that you expend.
It's 2d10 for each charge, so maybe I didn't need to do that many charges.
Roll 4d10 then.
4d10. Hang on, I'm going to do it this way.
I was just reading that too. I was just like, ooh.
He didn't even use the full. It's got, I think, 3 charges to it.
Yeah, 3. Oh, jeez. Wait a minute. That wasn't standard issue.
Okay, so with the 4d10, it is going to be 26. 27.
Nice. So you slam into his body. It also knocks him how many feet away?
It'll knock him 5 feet away from me, but if he's prone, it's just going to pound him into the ground.
Okay, nice.
Just coming down on top of him.
Yeah, you kind of like highlight the ring just over your head. It sends it
Nice.
like in an arcing fashion, and it just bam slams down right on top of the guy.
If I drops him to 0, I am trying to knock him out.
Yeah, I got you.
Cool.
Cool. So it does not drop him to 0, unfortunately.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
as this spectral ram's head just like slams him into the ground, there's this like shockwave, and like his body gets chunked into the earth a little bit, and he slowly starts to stack, because it's his turn. He slowly starts to stagger his way up to his feet. And at this point, Maeve, I was about to have you roll initiative, Deb, but it's not going to matter. Maeve is kind of like flying into this scene as well in her owl form, and he just kind of looks back at Casimir, and his hood is like fully back now. You see that he is a half-elven man. At the distance, it's kind of hard to make out some details of them, but you can plainly see that he has scars all along one side of his face, burns of some kind, as well as like some slashes mixed into it as well, something that has been healed over from a long time ago. And he just kind of shakes his head, and then he seems to grimace for a moment. You all see his body kind of like start to seize up a little bit, and he just collapses backwards onto the ground. The rest of you ooh, Goblin Tuesday, thank you, welcome Raiders. Things are just getting interesting.
Hey,
Yeah, so
exciting.
yeah, you see him like fall backwards back into the like pit that you created from the shockwave with the ram, and you all both of you come rushing up to his body. You see a little bit of frothing at his mouth, as you see some obvious poison that is tearing through his body at this moment. And as he locks eyes with you, Casimir, you hear him gurgle something in Abyssal. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
I can do that. Straight
Dirty
intelligence.
rollers crew.
How far am I?
Got a plus
You're
0,
still catching
so
up.
8.
8. Yeah, it's kind of hard to make out exactly what he said. What's your passive insight, actually?
My passive insight is going to be a 12.
All right. I would say that in this moment is good enough, as there's like, as he locks eyes with Casimir, there seems to be a moment of recognition. He seems to know who you are.
Okay.
As Sai comes rushing up, you see this man expire. And I need for you to roll a medicine check for me.
18.
18. This is not normal poison that is coursing through his veins. You can see very clearly black veins emerging at the edges of his skin. He is becoming pallid just almost instantly, and there is a severity to this death that implies immense amounts of pain and torture. And Casimir actually recognizes this, as
I was about to ask if I've seen this
he's
before.
seen this before. Maeve comes flying in from her aerial vantage point. She can see that there are a number of appropriately dressed for guardsmen kind of rushing into the scene as chases and fireballs and explosions and rampaging sand skimmers have kind of taken over in the racers' quarter, and so the authorities are starting to make their way, as you see a number of individuals wearing like cloaks and armor with, helms that have little tiny, like feathered ribbons hanging off the top of them, and halberds are coming rushing to the scene. Maeve spots that, and you feel that you've probably got moments to try to get away from this before potentially you are beset upon by the authorities.
Maeve is gonna screech a warning to both Sai and Casimir and try to signal them to fly away.
I think that Maeve and Sai have worked together long enough that Sai would at least understand that, even if Casimir does not necessarily know what the implication there is. So are you flying just off and away? Are you intending to try to locate Wraith?
I would fly back toward where I last saw Wraith. Probably a little more slowly, and I kind of want to... I'll do some circles to keep an eye on what's going on with the two on the ground.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. You do have advantage because of your owl current form. Casimir and Sai, you have moments to get away. You could potentially try to pat down the body really quick if you wanted to, but that puts you into some pretty strong danger, so it's up to you.
I think...
Would it still be super dangerous if we have our expeditious retreat?
Potentially
Yes?
still dangerous.
I think that maybe Casimir will notice that Sai goes to step forward to maybe pat down the body, and I'll actually look at you. No, we must get away. Come. I already know where he is from. Let's go.
And
I will-
because both of you have taken the vapor, that's a normal voice, normal conversation. But anyone that was in the vicinity watching, it's like, no, we gotta go
Yeah.
right now.
We sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I'll lead Sai in a direction that is kind of along the same path we were going, but will take us away from where the sounds are coming from.
Gotcha. Yeah, you are well versed enough in this space to be able to lead Sai away. You guys have the expeditious vapor. You're not hesitating to get out. Moment of hesitation, but not enough to cause you any trouble. And hyped up on drugs that you are, you jettison your way out of the racer's quarter as quickly as you can. What did you get on that perception check, Deb?
17.
Okay. You have no sign of Wraith. As far as you know at this point,
Yep.
Wraith is dead.
Great.
Oh no!
You hope not.
Yes. That's fine.
Maeve's just gonna stay in the air and keep track of the two retreating, and wait until they get to a safe space, and then she will join them and poof back to herself.
Nice. All right. So, yes, in the interest of time, I'm going to say that a couple of hours pass. Does Sai by... Well, maybe not. Does Sai by chance have the sending spell prepared?
That's a really good question. And
Would
I
Sai...
do.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Yeah.
So, as Casimir and Sai get away, Sai could send messages to
Yeah.
Maeve and Wraith, and coordinate, a good place to meet up. And I'm going to GM Fiat say that Sai spends a couple of spell slots to make sure that
Yeah.
that happens. And you all do eventually find yourselves gathered up in a safe house that is one that Casimir has been using for the past couple of weeks. Sai and Casimir, you obviously are there first, but you have an opportunity to roleplay with each other before Maeve arrives, and Wraith will arrive shortly after Maeve.
Well, that was an interesting meeting, I'll say.
Welcome to Zirakath.
It's quite the welcome.
The man who attacked us, he is from the cult of the mask. I'm sure you have been already briefed about it if you have traveled here with Maeve.
I have, but is there Has there been any new information in the several days it took us to get here?
We have interrogated several sources that have proven to be useful. I would be more comfortable sharing that once Maeve is here, of course, so she is taking point on leadership of the specific duties.
Yeah, sorry, Oh, my head is kind of doing a thing right now.
If you are tired, perhaps you should sit over here, and I'm gonna lead her over to, like, there's some stacked up carpets and rugs that are kind of piled against one side. This is once a textiles merchant's warehouse, so please.
Normally, I think Sai would try to play it a little bit tougher, but it has been a time, and so they'll just sort of plop down.
And Casimir plops down right next to her as if they're old friends. He's sitting, like, probably too
Yeah.
close to her, actually.
Sai will just kind of like rub their eyes and temples and so you've got a lot of background info on this cult?
Oh yes, it is the latest cult that I have been sent in to infiltrate and disturb from within. It has taken me some time, but there is some information that I have gained and gleaned in this moment, yes.
I suppose that's good. I know we need to wait for the others, but are you from Aubrath?
I am not from Aubrath originally, but I have been here for some time doing the great works, yes.
And how long have you been a member of the initiative?
Well, it has been several years at this point. I was actually brought in to the initiative by the initiative, one could say, of Maeve, actually. She met
Really?
me when I was but a child, and she set me on a path that perhaps I was destined for.
She likes to recruit. She trained me too, so
Oh,
that's
yes, well. You are,
both pretty capable, I think.
I would certainly hope so. Do your duties being capable make it so that you perhaps need to have some, how do I say, companionship here within the city?
What?
I mean, do you and the guy with the arms, maybe you guys are together?
Oh, no. No. Wraith is just like my big brother, very big brother. But no, we're not involved in any way.
Okay. I understand. Why not?
It frankly hadn't crossed my mind. That is an interesting question to ask so early upon our meeting. Wow.
What would you rather I ask while we sit here and wait?
I mean, I don't know. People typically ask like favorite color and.
What is your
know.
favorite color?
I like a deep indigo. I think that's
Indigo, this is
rather
a
nice.
blue. This is
Yeah. Deep blue. What about you?
oh, that is a good color as well. I have a condition with my eyes. I do not see all the colors, so I do not perhaps know what the color that I like the best is. But dark blue is nice.
Are you romantically entangled here?
Am I
in this
romantically
city?
entangled? Do you
Yeah,
mean am
I mean, I don't
married,
know.
or
No, I just
are you
we're
asking me out
asking
on a date?
weird
or
questions.
Why
No,
are you so
that's
uncomfortable all of a sudden?
I've been uncomfortable the whole time.
What? It is okay. The horns, they are just part of who I am. They will not hurt you.
I'm not concerned about all that. Gee whiz, where are my friends?
Gee whiz! I'm sorry. This is so good. It's so good. Oh man.
I apologize. I have made you uncomfortable. I have not exactly been taught how to be tactful in situations like this.
No, that's quite all right.
I think this is
My social
about
skills.
when Maeve shows up.
Okay.
Thank God. Yeah,
Maeve.
this is when the 0 + 0 charisma is like just totally wavering.
Yeah.
So the guy with the 20 charisma just slides away from you as Maeve
Yeah.
walks in.
I
Yeah.
imagine Maeve probably is still in owl form and like
Sure.
found a broken window and just like flies into the room and maybe was listening to this for the past couple of
Just-
seconds.
just kind of let that whole scene marinate before she went, oh hey everybody. Oh.
Oh boy. Oh,
Yeah.
so
So,
glad you're here.
what is it? What does Maeve do when she comes into the scene?
She will, wait for a second and then pop back into her regular form. And I see you've been getting to know each other.
I'm just so glad that you are safe and you are back here right now. That is great news.
Sorry that I could not do more in the skirmish earlier.
No, I mean,
You handled it
caught up.
beautifully.
Where is your other companion? Where is Wraith? Was he captured?
no, he's coming.
Man, it is crazy out there. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that boat? That was just like, it was crazy.
What's that,
I
man?
did see it. I was wondering why perhaps there was no driver upon it, but
There's people around here. They're just, it's weird.
I think the driver missed the boat, as it were, and just gives a knowing look at Wraith.
It is. Yeah. Oh, sorry, why are you blushing?
And then just kind of like turns away.
it's not. Oh,
oh, Wraith. that
Diversion.
reminds me. What is your favorite color?
Oh, it's burgundy.
throw a softball
actually.
to him, huh? Wow.
Yeah. What's your
You
favorite color?
Like indigo.
Hmm.
Do you perhaps like indigo? It is a deep blue, very dark.
I've never really tried it. I don't know if it works well with my skin tone. I'm more of an autumn, so I don't know if winter colors would do well for me, honestly. So I'll try it though. Why, you got something?
No, not I. No. Maeve, perhaps we could speak about our mission briefing, learn what exactly it is that we need to do to make sure that we take down the Circle of the Mask.
I think that is wise. You
Did you guys
are.
catch that guy?
Did we catch
yeah.
him?
Yeah, did you get him?
We caught him in the desert sands, have taken him from us.
Oh. Well,
Casimir, why don't you tell us what you know about him and the Circle of Masks?
Very well. As I suspected when the man went on the run, I knew for sure when I saw the methods he was using to eliminate himself. They have certain magics that they use within themselves, hidden capsules and hidden magical components beneath their teeth sometimes. He used this to remove himself from the equation. He did not wish to be captured. Unfortunately, before he perished, he did recognize me and my plight, so perhaps he is aware that we are trying to take them down. Yes, the Circle of Masks, it is a bit of a, I believe the crass word would be a cult. They have worshipped a being who is known to wear one of the masks. You have heard of the masks of the Lost Princes, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
we have encountered one before.
Yes, I have heard of this tale. That's actually why I requested you specifically, and why I'm pleased to know that you are able to. How was it you put it, Sai? Able to handle yourself? That's how you said?
Yeah.
Yes. The Circle of Masks, they have been established here for some time. There are two different spires within the outskirts of the city that they tend to work within. The Sendane spires. Well, we will get to that in a moment. Specifically, what I can say is that the Circle of Masks, they, as I said, they worship an individual. We have not entirely found out this individual's identity and purpose, but they worship an individual who bears one of the masks. Probably the same as the information that we have gleaned, the same who is causing the problems to the east that you have recently learned of. And we believe there is a connection. I have been working for several months now to try to infiltrate this cult and to try to learn what I can to make sure it is eliminated. And, well, it has proven to be difficult. We have had several interrogations of several beings that we have found are forthcoming and have actually given us information either because they wish to leave the cult or because they are losing their way. And we have learned a great deal. The mask bearer, well, they worship chaos, destruction, and they wish to have that be a liberating force throughout the world. They will use that power to make sure that everyone else is given the freedom that they are denied through civilized rule. And this is most dangerous, as I'm sure you all can tell. But as I said, the people that we have interrogated, they have given us some information. It would seem that the cult itself is moving into a new purpose and that there is more to be discovered. I'm not sure what will happen now that I have been partially exposed, but maybe a new tact will be useful. I'm sorry, friend with the large arms, you look a bit confused. Perhaps there is more information that you wish to know about.
I assume he's talking to me with the arms.
Well, Maeve has regular woman arms. Sai is wearing the dark coat. I cannot see, but I'm sure Sai's arms are rather shapely as well. But I am speaking specifically about you, friend, with your arms out on display.
You want to get a drink or something later? Or okay, just keep telling. All right, no, I am a bit concerned because unlike when we met Pocket, he didn't have a group following him. It's more people than the last time.
The mask bearer, you know about the mask bearer as well.
Well, I mean, I know the guy that we ran into the last time. He was a friend of one of my friends now. It was a little weird too.
I would love to hear of this mask bearer as well. Perhaps there is information, or perhaps there are connections between the two of them that we can use to find out what exactly the purpose is of this current mask bearer.
I think maybe like Sai or Maeve would be better off telling you what's going on. And he kind of settles back to where he's sitting or standing right now, and you can see like a nervous look, and he's rubbing his hands a little bit. A little anxious.
Our previous experience with one of the masked ones was that they were trying to undo the alluvance, to reset time. I can't imagine that this mask bearer would have better goals in mind. Everything I know about them is that they are incredibly dangerous.
What else have you gleaned?
They usually kill the person who's wearing the mask. But with the previous mask bearer, once we gained control of the mask, they were just a dead body. The whole time.
It seemed kind of like the person wearing the mask was at least aware enough to try to reach out to a former friend. I don't know if that was entirely unique.
It's like a sense of torture the entire time. And he's it's light in the background. He's not really directing to it.
Yeah, Casimir's just going to, at the corner of his eye, he's going to just slightly turn. Like, he's noticing, but he's not, like, looking at Wraith to be like, what is going on? He's just kind of noticing this, taking it in as part of the information we're trying to figure out. Well, what we can do is, since we are here together, there will be plenty of time for us to put this information together and find out what it is we are dealing with. I specifically have a meeting with an alchemist this evening who will give me some more information that I have been trying to glean. I believe all of you could be instrumental in helping me to turn him into an asset, as it were. I have seen Maeve do such things before.
Sounds like a good lead for us to start with.
Step in the right direction.
Well, I will help be your guide within the city. I will help be your eyes and ears from the initiative here. But Maeve, I will follow your lead on this. You are senior member here, and you will know quite a bit more than all of us combined. But I must know before we go on. This is the most important duty, I believe. For I have known you for some time, and I have not seen you for some years, and I do not know the answer to this question. What is your favorite color?
That is an excellent question. My favorite color is the green of the leaves of the forest.
And then Casimir will turn to Sai. I was going to say green as well. Shall we go then to the alchemist?
Lead on, my friend.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's a good place for us to stop. That was wonderful. Completely off the fucking rails. As I should have entirely expected from this particular lot. Love you guys nonetheless. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around with us. Big shout out to the raiders and the subs. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all your support. All of that goes into, helping us tell more stories here. So, big heartfelt thank you all around. We're going to go around the table real quick and let all of these fine folks, give an opportunity for them to tell a little bit about themselves and all the awesome things that they've got going on in these vast interwebs that we so much enjoy. And we will go the same order that we did before and kick things off with Kev.
All right, cool. Yeah, I am Kevin, and tonight I played Casimir, who is a tiefling warlock. More information about that to be determined later, but I can be found on the socials at Kevran Games. I am one of the members of the production team here on Wanderer's Haven, and it's awesome to be back and playing with these cool folks. And we'll do some more fun stuff next week at this time. But I'm not here. You can also find me every Friday where I run La Notte Eterna, which is another Twitch channel of a Grimdark 5th Edition campaign setting that actually Miko and Deb and Beth are currently playing it. And probably Ian soon. You didn't hear that here first, though. But anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, new subs. We love you guys. And can't wait to do it again next week. So thanks, Miko.
Indeed, indeed. Can't wait to see where this story goes because it's been a doozy of a start. Continuing right along, Beth, please inform everyone about the rambunctious things that you get up to on the internet.
Yeah, rambunctious things on the internet. You know, that's who I am. I'm Beth Masco. You can find me on the internet at Beth Masco. I will be here for the foreseeable future. Nico has not given me the key to the lock that chains me to this desk.
All you gotta do is sign the contract, and you know.
Yeah, we'll see. TBD on that one. Yeah, so I'll be here playing Cze, the Twilight cleric, and I guess we've got Lanata Turna, which has been, I mean, we're talking about like batshit crazy games. That has been awesome. so dark and just delicious. So I'm excited to see how that ends up, and then to be back here next week with this chaos. Really, I mean, wow, what an apt name.
You think there might have been inspiration for that? Moving right along, Deb, who is not a man from Texas.
You won't find me on Twitter. I am on Instagram and Blue Sky at dsweats. I also lurk in the Wanderers Haven Discord, so you can find me there. I'm here on Wednesdays, and it's great to be here. This was so much fun. And I'm just gonna hype Lanata Turna one more time because that game has been so much fun. We've got one more session left on Friday, and I hope I get to play in that world again because it is an absolute blast.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
good.
I highly recommend everyone tune in on Friday on Lanata Turna. It's definitely it's been a journey. Speaking of journeys, we do have a man from Texas here among us. Ian, my boy, why don't you tell everybody all the awesomeness that you've got going on?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, of course, as tradition, I am a man from Texas. You can find me on all socials at your boy Big, YABOIBIG. And yeah, of course, I'm going to be here playing Wraith Wednesday. I don't know. I may play in Lanata Turna. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. They haven't cleared the check. No, but yeah, if you want to know what I'm doing, just follow my Twitter. I got a lot of stuff coming up. Too much to list here, but yeah, just peep me over there. Something you like. Hope to see you there. If not, I'll see you here Wednesday. This game's
Indeed.
already been so good. It started off so fun. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I like the
Awesome.
fact that when you guys did decide to bring back your characters from the previous arc, I feel that has, created a nice flair into this one. If anyone wants to catch up on the 3 of these 4 characters in the previous chaos arc of things, you can check out the Wanderers Haven YouTube channel where all of that stuff is going on. Catch up on our VODs and all of that awesomeness. I have been Nico, otherwise known as the OKS GM. It is my honor and privilege to get to run these games for this amazing cast of individuals at my table, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next. We are going to, I think, raid over here in just a few moments to Phoenixy Wacky. They have a charity thing going on, I think, tonight, if I recall correctly.
Nice.
But regardless, they're playing awesome games and they are awesome people. So please stick around for the raid and give them a shout when you get there. And yeah, we will see all of you next week. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.